Parker! Hello everybody, how are you enjoying this nearly free evening? Because there will be a bucket later. I was just saying to Matt, I do like to come on a bit later because I can listen to the other comedians and I can shape my act depending on what the subjects that they cover. And most of my stories are true, and I know I've seen some familiar faces before, but I need to clarify one thing. I have not had a caesarean section. Because as you can see, I'm still pregnant. I've been pregnant for about 10 years. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If I do eventually give birth, of course, I will have to have a caesarean section because I haven't got a vagina. Which is confusing because apparently I am one. Well, he didn't use the word vagina. That's when I was driving in. Anyway, aviation. Glenn, you were talking about the landings and everybody claps.
Hey.
Yeah. Don't you know, these days, all the landings are automatic?
Yeah.
So when all the people start clapping, I stand up, turn around and say, stop, 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 because the computer did it, and the pilots are basically hanging onto the seats, hoping, I hope the fucking thing works correctly this time, because they've all got auto-land. But years ago, that was not the case, and only some aircraft had it. And this is an actual extract from an engineering report. If the pilot finds there's a fault on the aircraft, he will write it in the tech log, and this pilot wrote, after a test flight, this is pretty good, but the auto-land produces a rough and inaccurate landing. Do you know what the engineer wrote? This aircraft is not fitted with auto-land. For many years, many years I was a pilot. Before that, I was a parachutist, and I used to run the parachute club at Loughborough University. Anybody done a parachute jump?
Yes. Hey.
Obviously you survived. Sadly. So I used to run the parachute club there, and we had a lot of people who just wanted to do one jump, just for charity, or so they could do it. And so we were putting out a lot of first-timers from the aircraft. And if you imagine this is the airfield, all the parachutists need to land on the airfield because that is secured as being a safe place to land. And so when the aircraft's flying overhead, it's doing about 70 or 80 miles an hour, you need to get out of the aircraft when the jump master tells you. Now some people will get all scared and they freeze. And so the jump master has then got the problem. If you land beyond the perimeter of the airfield, you could land on a barbed wire fence, or in a field with an angry bull, or in a field with a combine harvester working. So he's got to get you out the door within a very few seconds. And so therefore, if somebody hesitates, he will use alternative methods to make you exit the aircraft, which is usually a boot or a shove. But apparently a mate of mine, he hesitated, and the jump master pulled his fly down, and he got this huge throbbing cock out, and he said to him, if you don't jump, I'm going to shove this up your arse. And so I asked him, did you jump? He said, at first yes, but after a bit I got used to it. You want a true story? It's another aviation one. I had a girlfriend once in Wiltshire, and she liked extreme sex. Do you know what the Mile High Club is?
Yeah.
When you have sex in an aeroplane, which is more than a mile high. And just for those of you who've forgotten your school days, that's 5,200 feet. She wanted to join the 10 Mile High Club, which is 52,000 feet. And most airliners cruise below that height. Do you know the only one that went higher?
Concorde.
Concorde cruised at 60,000 feet. So we booked on Concorde, and we were going to go to the toilet and have a shag. Now I didn't know at the time, but it's extremely expensive to operate the toilets on Concorde. And for the flights over Biscay, which were a couple of hours, they only had one toilet operational. With 100 people on board, 2 hours straight and left, you've got 1 minute and 20 seconds in the toilet. There's no way I can do it that quickly. So we made do with a visit to the cockpit, but it was a fantastic flight. It was so sad the aircraft stopped. So, last time I made a joke about dementia, at least I think I did. Yes, did I? Well, I was sort of told off about that because people were saying I shouldn't make fun of people with illnesses, but I think it's a great subject. And there's lots of support societies. You know, the NHS run them, there are self-help groups, there's charities that help you if you've got a particular illness. And they have slogans, and the problem I have is they're all negative. They all talk about how dreadful diseases are. What about the positive side? Why can't they have slogans? So, for the Dementia Society, you could say, everything's new every morning with dementia. What about schizophrenia? You're never alone with schizophrenia. Let's think of another one. Incontinence. Forget that expensive gym membership. You'll be running miles every week with this. Cancer's more difficult because there are so many different types of cancer. You need to choose one. So how about testicular cancer? I think that's the best one. You wanted bigger balls? You've got them! But not for very long. So we heard a bit about masturbation. Who you were talking about?
I think everybody was.
Everybody. And since there's a medical theme which has sort of cropped up, this chap broke his arm and he went to A&E to have it set, and the doctor said, go behind the screen and give me a urine sample. And he's thinking, urine sample? What can that possibly tell me about the broken arm? Doctor says, don't argue, behind the screen. He came out with the urine sample, and the doctor put the analysis paper in it, and he said, yes, well, you've broken your arm in 2 places, we'll plaster you up, come back and see me in 6 months. 6 weeks, sorry, 6 weeks. So he did that, went back to see the doctor, he said, behind the screen, give me a urine sample. He said, how can you possibly tell me? Don't argue, do it. And again, he put the paper in it, and he said, well, the one break has knitted, but the other one is going to take another 6 weeks. Come back and see me then. And this guy's thinking, I've got to test this urine sample thing. So he said to his wife, piss in this pot there. So she pissed in it. Then he got the dipstick out of his car and mixed in some oil, and then he wanked into it. And he took that to the hospital. The doctor says, behind the screen, give me a urine sample. So he comes out with this bottle, plonks it on the desk, and the doctor puts the paper in it, and his face drops. And he says, oh dear, oh dear. The chap says, what's the matter? He says, your wife's pregnant, your car needs a service, and if you keep wanking like that, your arm will never get better. I had lunch today with my partner and my stepdaughter and my sort of step-grandson, and we're talking about birth defects. And how can you make a joke about that? But I did. I said, I had a birth defect. I said, what? I was born in Wolverhampton. But there was this baby was born with no ears. Otherwise he was absolutely perfect. He didn't have any ears. And unfortunately his uncle was a very insensitive man. Nice chap, but he was incredibly insensitive. And his wife said to him, go and see the baby, make a fuss of it, you know, cuddle it, say how lovely it looks, do not mention the fact that he hasn't got any ears. So the uncle was doing this, and then he said, what's his eyesight like? And his parents said, his eyesight's fine, it's 20/20 vision. He'll have 20/20 vision all his life. Why? He said, well, if he needs glasses, he'd be buggered, wouldn't he? Yeah, I think I've only got 5 minutes, so that's it for tonight. More later.